Greetings, brothers and sisters. It's your brother Sundin Esperance, or as some of you may know me as the podcast man, back again with another testimony of the I Thrive podcast, where our sister today will be telling us how God brought her out of the world and into His church. As always, this podcast affiliates itself with one church and one church only. That is First Church of our Lord Jesus Christ, where the leader, teacher, and guide is Apostle Pastor Gino Jennings. If you're looking for a first church to attend, you can go on the truthofgod.com, click locations, see what location is closest to you, and start making way to attend service at that location. If you're looking to be baptized right in the name of Jesus Christ, you can go on the truthofgod.com, click locations, see what location is closest to you, attend service, and go on ahead and get baptized. Or also, I get it, sometimes you can't even wait. You want to get baptized now and all that wonderful stuff. So, what you can do, there's usually a number linked, a secretary number linked, or main point of contact to that location. And you could call them, say, greetings, hello, my name is so and so, and I would love to be baptized in the name of Jesus Christ. How can I get this done? Can I come tomorrow? Can I, to see what they can do for you to set that up? If you're disabled, of course, Lord's will, I'm sure we could have, brothers be able to go out there and, assist you with your disability and getting baptized. You could also look at the Truth of God on Instagram, on Facebook, and on the website. They actually have a baptism calendar of events where they're going to be that particular weekend or weekday where they have baptism scheduled. So if you see it's close to you, then you can see what that baptism calendar of events and say, you know what, oh, they're going to be in such place this Saturday, so let us make way to go over there and get baptized. As always, I strongly recommend bring your own clothing. Of course, modest apparel as well, but bring your own clothing and towels. You just never know what could happen. Maybe they forgot the clothing, whatever the case may be. But I strongly recommend, because I don't want you to go here, you get baptized, and now you're driving back wet. So just make sure you have that. Other than that, brothers and sisters, as always, I truly give my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ all the glory and all the praise and all the honor, for it is due unto him. He truly and certainly deserves it. I can say, brothers and sisters, whether the good times or bad times, God has truly been good to me. I can truly, truly say that, he's never failed me and he never will fail me. It's just so wonderful to have confidence, to know I have a God who I'm the one. I feel him, but I know no matter what position I am in life, he will never ever fail me. So I truly give God thanks for all that he continues to do for me, my family. I'm giving God thanks for the former prophets and apostles of old, and of course, our current day leader, teacher, and guide, Apostle Pastor Gino Jennings. And I give God thanks for the faithful ministering brethren who labor along with the man of God in this hard way of holiness, and those of you that function on different auxiliaries, the behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, the side of the scenes. I truly give God thanks to you all that do it so faithfully. Continue to keep the apostle and his family in prayer, as well as the faithful ministering brothers as well, and their families too. And let's not forget to keep one another in prayers as well, brothers and sisters, as you never know what one is going through. And we don't have to know that somebody is going through something. Just keeping one another in prayer is truly a blessing. And I pray that we continue to strive in charity in this hard way of holiness as well. As always, you can check the I Thrive podcast on Instagram, Facebook. I may get rid of the page more so because people just go more on the private page, but on my personal page. So we'll see with that. But you can follow us on Instagram at I Thrive Podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube as well. You can click the subscribe button. You can subscribe and get the notifications for when this episode comes out. You can check our website, as I said, ithrivepodcast.com. And of course, stay tuned for updates. Stay tuned for updates for the Truth of God, where they're gonna be a weekend, because the Truth of God is very, very busy. So you can look at the calendar of events where one will be, maybe St. Louis, Chicago, in Europe, whenever the convocations are, there's a calendar of events for that as well. So you can stay tuned to look for that. I believe that is all, brothers and sisters, from my end. Keep continue to keep me and my family in prayer as we strive and hold on to God's unchanging hand. It is about 8:16 in the morning. We have a time difference today. You know, today we're gonna be having Germany sharing her testimony. Her name not Germany, she's from Germany. We have today our sister Rachel Gasper. Shout out to Congo, 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 on a Congo dans le Zoom aujourd'hui, là, je t'ai dit, hein, nous les Congolais, arrête de jouer avec la parole du Seigneur. Arrête de jouer, là, je t'ai dit, hein, il faut rentrer dans la vérité, là, je t'ai dit, hein. On a
Mhm.
Congo, on a Congo, we have
Ah
Congo
oui,
in the
ah
Zoom.
oui, c'est ça.
Let's go back to English now because I know some of them are saying, what did he say? What did, but it's truly wonderful to have our sister here today, brothers and sisters. And it's a very, very wonderful thing for those of you that don't know. Congo is a very religious country, very, very religious country over there. Of course, lots of falsehood within it and outskirts of it with, the preachers and pastors. So to see some, coming into this way of holiness, I'm telling you, that is because Congolese, la tête là, je t'ai dit, oh. She knows, but it's truly this is showing that it doesn't matter what country you're from, it doesn't matter where you are. As I say moreover, the truth of God is it's not just some little local church. It started from a basement, and look how it has exploded all over the entire world. Sister Rachel, Sister Gasper, how are you doing this afternoon?
I thank God I'm doing good today. And yes, I'm doing good. I'm
Wonderful,
doing
wonderful, wonderful. Oh, look, you know what? I'm gonna get out the way. I know people ready to get into this testimony, so I'm gonna put Sister Rachel Gasper in the way. Sis, tell us, how did God bring you out of the world and into His church? Start from where you were born and all that wonderful stuff, and then we'll go from there.
all right. So I will start like I was born in Germany. So my mom is very religious. My dad wasn't religious, so he just pretend to be religious because my mom dragged him to church all the time, and he was just standing like that in the church, but his mind wasn't there. But we children have always to go with my mom and with my dad, and we have five children. With me, we have five. I'm the second oldest daughter of my mom. And my dad had also, before my mom, he had like, how to say it, like a woman, not wife, but woman. And with her, he had also four children, and they're older than us. So we are not close at all. So me, I'm not close to my older siblings at all because I don't know, they're a little bit weird. So, but my sister, she's very close to them. So to my brother, especially. And how to say it, we was not raised like we was raised to be close with each other, but it don't work out because every one of us have their own friends. I have my own friends, and my sister her own friends, like Congolese friends all the time. And yes, I'm Congolese, but I'm not Congolese, so I'm more German. Yes,
Got it, got it.
yes. And my sister, she's the opposite of me. She's totally, totally Congolese. So that's why sometimes we don't like match with each other. But I respect her. She's my older sister, and I love her. I love also my brothers. So we went to church. I was like from childhood, like from little child, we always went to church. And I know only church when I was little, but it feels like not right, even when I was little, because there was always an auntie who always scream at us, like, why are you yelling at me? What did I do? And she always like, how to say it, pull our ears when we
Mhm.
don't listen, or a so-called pastor will come to us and like beat other children, and he's not your child. Why are you beating him? Or yell at him like, take care of your own children. and I was afraid of him. And I can also remember that there was a young woman, she always, like, she was a teacher of Sunday school. And I hated to go there. Every Sunday to go Sunday, I hate that from the depth of my heart because I didn't learn nothing from there. I was taught after the first service was over, I just said, I will not come back. I don't want to come back. And I won't pretend to be sick that I don't go to church, but it don't work out. My mom just dragged me, come with me to church. You go to Sunday school. And it went on, and we saw also that we grow up in this church, that some other ministers from other churches come in, and he was like also a teacher and said, yes, I will teach you all how to play instruments, but I have to charge you with money.
Oh,
Yes, and he charged, I think, over 1,000 euro for
wow.
so more than 1,000 euro, and then he went. We never saw him again.
So this was at the church you were attending,
Mm-hmm,
and here it is. It could have obviously been done freely, right? Look, we're playing for the
mm-hmm,
Lord. Let me teach you. I get some people have, their businesses and they teach piano or teach drums, and okay, they're making an income from it, but it just he comes in,
mm-hmm,
charges 1,000 euros. Now I'm in Canada, so 1,000 euros is a lot of money.
mm-hmm,
Eh?
mm-hmm.
And he just disappears.
Yes, you never saw him again. I said to my mind, where's this man? He's gone. Like the money is also gone. So, and the pastor, he just covered it up. Like he didn't say nothing. He didn't say where he went, and nobody knows. Only the pastor knew, maybe.
So wait, was he able at least to teach y'all something at least?
Yes, but I didn't get the teaching.
Okay, okay. But not worth the 1,000
Mm-hmm.
1,000 euros pretty much. And what was
Yes,
what was the time frame of, you learning, or the time? So let's say, was it for 1 week? Was it for 2 weeks? How long was the learning period until he just left?
I think it was about 2 weeks.
Oh wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And how many days during that? How many days would you say per week?
So every Saturday and Sunday.
So twice a week,
Mm-hmm.
probably 2 weeks, and he just went flah.
Yeah, bye.
Oh.
Exactly.
And how many
Yes.
how many students was
Eh,
like in that class that they gave 1,000 euros?
over 10.
Hey. So little, and was he like Congolese, or was he from like some
Yes, of course.
Congolese?
Yes.
Listen, 10,000 euros back
Mm-hmm.
in Congo. Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can build a house more than a house. Like, have your own land, everything set up.
That is crazy. That is wow.
Exactly.
Wow. But yeah, sorry, continue on, continue.
Yes, and I was like, my mind, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here anymore. And then my mind started changing and said, no, I have to go. And I think I was 10. But my mom, she said, you have to come with me to church. With all of us, we have to go to church. And I said, okay, I will just come. But I didn't get nothing from the teaching. Not, so I cannot recall nothing, just that the pastor always tell us to the congregation, yes, we have to raise each person 1,000 euro. So each person have to give 1,000 euro to the pastor so we can build a new headquarter, church and everything with Bible of with gold letters and everything. I said, in my mind, that will never happen. It will never happen. But the people was convinced. Some gave 1,000 euro, and I prayed to my mind, Lord, please let not my mom give him 1,000 euro at all. And it happened. My mom didn't have the money to give him the 1,000 euro. I was so glad. And we never hear about the building of the church.
Wow.
Mhm. And I said, this, I just recall only the collecting of money, that the pastor always asks for money all the time, money, 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 and shouting and screaming in the pulpit, like so many things that I said, that's not right. That's crazy. And you behave like sauvage. Exactly. Like that's not right. And I
Mhm.
don't want to be here. And when we went back home, I just I did do my things, but unfortunately I have a big cousin. He take advantage of me. When I don't know when it start. I think I don't know, but it I think it started when I was 5.
Oh,
But I thank God that he didn't like do more than he is supposed to do, but he did it, and it went on till I was 15.
wow.
Mm.
So, and when you say take advantage, like touched inappropriately, and then
Mhm.
wow,
Exactly. And nobody knew, just me, because he sneaked into my bedroom in the night or in the morning when everyone is like downstairs. And I was there like, I was scared to tell my mom. Till today, nobody knows.
wow.
Yes,
So
and
if your mom watches this, she's gonna know now.
yes, she will ask me who was it, but
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't want to bring more pain to my mom, and she know that I love her, so that's why I kept this secret till now. So I exposed. I don't say the name, but it was my older cousin, and he is about 4, 4 years older than me. Yes, but I forgive him. So I thought about it like till today. I think I thought about it all the time. Like it wasn't right what he did, but he did it. And for me, it was normal because it was a period of time of 10 years. So for me, it was normal that he came and do what he did. And I can just say that the family of my dad also they do a lot of witchcraft. And he also came from the side of my dad.
Mhm.
Exactly. So they do witchcraft, voodoo, all the things. Everyone hates each other, like the siblings hate each other. And I said, that's not normal how you behave. You have to love each other and not stab in your backs and talk with to like in the back of each other. And nobody calls and something is wrong with you. And I saw it especially when my granddad passed away. That everyone like yelling at each other, like fighting for money, fighting for position, fighting for the land in Congo, the house in Congo, everything. I said, this is crazy. You have to mourn, you have to be like sad that your dad passed away. But there wasn't like, there was smiling, laughing, drinking, music on, and I wasn't even my older brother forbid me to go to the funeral. Only me. I said, but I want to go with you. He said, no, you gotta stay here. I said, all right. And crazy.
That is that's something.
Mm-hmm.
It's even just going back onto the um, getting taken advantage of. I hear it too common where it's like I was scared to tell my mom or afraid to tell, my parents. And you grow up with it.
Mm-hmm.
And as you grow up with it, something kept in so much. And what was so sad is like when you said you just ended up believing that it was normal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it was happening so much. So whenever now he's coming in, it's just like whatever, just do what you have to do and get about your business.
Mm-hmm.
That
Exactly.
is wow.
And I can remember that one time, I think I was 11, that my sister me, catch him doing this with me. And I was like crying and said, please don't tell mom nothing, please. And she was so angry, like, I will tell mom everything. I said, please don't tell, because I was so scared of this reaction of my mom and dad, because my dad was very strict, like, you don't play with him, he will just take the bell and bam. And she said, okay, I will keep it with myself, but stop it. And in my mind, I said, it's not my fault, it's him. And of course, he keep continuing and I remember that I was sick. I started getting sick. I don't know how it happened, but I feel like I have low blood in my body. And when my period came, it went too much. Like I didn't have blood in my body at all. My mom asked herself, what is wrong with her? And I couldn't tell her nothing. So we went to the hospital, and the hospital tell her that yes, your daughter is not a virgin anymore. I was sweating, like I was really sweating. I said, "What did you say?" He said, "Yes, she's not a virgin." And I said, "Nah, I am." And then the doctor said maybe it comes from the exercise in gym at school, or but I know it wasn't that. So I just let my mom believe what the doctor said. And I told my cousin that he don't touch me anymore because then I was going to speak up. And then he stopped when I was 16. Yes. And I getting more sick and more sick and more sick. Like I said, that's not real. That's something my dad told me, Rachel, you have to eat, but I couldn't eat because I was so weak. Like it's like the blood in my body just went away. I was like just laying in my bed, and then my mom did a mixture of egg, Coke, and she just mixed it. Yeah, 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 yes. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that combination took me off guard. Egg,
Mm-hmm.
egg and Coke.
And tomato paste
So what
in
is that?
one
What
cup.
is that? What is that in one cup?
Yes.
And you
And
drink
then
it?
she blend everything, and yes. And the first time I said, Mom, it looks so disgusting. She said, Rachel, don't worry, don't worry. My mom did it with me, so everything is gonna be all right. Just drink. And she told me, Rachel, hold your breath and just
Oh my,
drink.
wow. And then what ended up happening?
She did it once, so every day, like today, I have, for example, when in the past, I have to drink 2 cups a day or three. But I'm honest. After drinking these cups, I'm feeling much more better.
That is crazy. That's wow. I've heard of remedies.
Mm-hmm.
I have never heard of this in my entire life. So
Yeah.
Coke,
Mm-hmm.
and was it boiled egg or raw egg?
Raw.
Ah! And
She
then,
put Coke, 1 egg, and tomato paste, and then she mixed everything up.
oh my days. And so, did you ever ask her like, what does this cure exactly? Like, what does it do?
She said, yes, your blood gonna come back.
Wow,
Your blood gonna be all right in your body. Just drink it. It's had a lot of iron inside, so
that is
just
crazy.
drink.
Is this something you still do today?
No, no,
Wow, that
no.
is wow. So
Yes,
she,
and
wow.
she
It
started
goes,
also to pray. Like my mom was really till today. She's a prayer warrior. She always pray, but also with the blood of Jesus. She always can, like I said, Mom, we was really asleep in the morning, like for example, 6 a.m. in the morning. She would come, open the door, and say, in the blood of Jesus. And she took olive oil, like in the blood of Jesus, and water, and put on us. I just let me sleep in peace, Mom. Every Saturday and Sunday.
Wow. Yeah,
But prayer works.
of course.
Not with the blood of Jesus, but
Yeah.
mhm,
No, I mean it's all I guess is what she knew, what
mhm.
she knew at the time. But this is just wow. How were you mentally and emotionally, as a kid from 5 to 15 years old while this was going on? Like, how were you at school? How were you with people? How were you like during that time?
I was like pretending like nothing happened. I was like normal, a happy child, like smiling all the time. But there was like, for me, it was an introduction to sexual things, to do sexual things. And when I think about that today, it's because of my cousin who started early with me. So I was happier child, but I have this sexual mentality like I have to do something because I was not satisfied at like just like that, but I have to do sexual things. And of course, I couldn't do that because I was 10, 15. But then I have my neighbor, like something happened, but I thank God that I didn't get pregnant. And yes, like it's gone on. I go back to church because I want to repent to God. And of course, I didn't feel well at church at all. And what I can also recall is that every time in summer, they have also, normally I know when we grill in church, that we don't charge nobody for food, but they did. And the only one who didn't have to give money is the pastor and his children. And I said, Mama, that's not fair. We have to give €5 for like meat. And I said, I have to go. I have to run away. I cannot stay here anymore. So I attended another church, went there for a couple of months. And then I saw there something like the pastor, like always, he always loved to touch people in the head.
Hmm.
He was like spitting in the micro, like, in the name of Jesus Christ, like touching. I said, please, please, I pray to God, please don't let him not come to me because I hate it. Don't touch me. But my sister was standing beside me and he touched my sister, and I could literally see that he pushed on the floor. He really pushed, and she went with her head on the floor. She hit her on the floor. And I saw her crying, like, okay, I have to go. I don't have nothing to do with this because this pastor is crazy. So I never went back, and I went to my sister, and she was crying. And my mom said, yeah, that's normal. And since then, nobody touched my hair because I hate it, but my sister. And every time when somebody touched my sister, said she behaved like crazy, like there's something evil in her. Like she was rolling on the floor, like talking something that I didn't understand, like evil spirits in her. And I said, mm-mm, that's crazy. And now I understand that nobody have to touch me on my head.
That
That's
is
crazy.
that is something. Here it is. You're going through, such dark moments, as a kid, 9, 10. And I completely understand what you mean with the sexual things, because even regardless if you're 10, 20 or 30 or when you open those doors, or when those doors
Mhm.
get opened, whether you're a boy or whether you're a girl, especially if you do it at a very start at a very young age,
Mm-hmm.
it opens doors because now you're feeling a certain type of way that why am I feeling like this?
Exactly.
Why is this all of a sudden in my mind? Why
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden I'm programming things? Why am I
Mm-hmm.
building certain addictions?
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have some men today, it's like the way they sleep around with women, because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't know this, but a lot of men that y'all see today, they were molested as a kid.
Exactly.
They were inappropriately. There was such a disturbing video I saw online the other day. I couldn't believe my eyes. I said this. And I'm trying to say, okay, maybe this is AI, but who would do such a thing? And it wasn't. It was a family who, I guess, they were having a party event, and the man, I don't know if it's the father or uncle, the woman around, mom is around, everybody's around. He was literally dry humping the kid, maybe 6 month, 7 month old, to the song. People is around like nothing.
That's crazy. Like I would like notice something when I look to, for example, to my father, but and I saw him like doing this, I would just take my brother like away from him. That's normal. But mm,
No, it's crazy, and to do something like that openly on video, and it's posted. You just
mhm.
what do y'all do behind closed doors?
Thank you.
What effects do you have on that child mentally behind closed
Hmm.
doors? And you get so messed up, you have no idea what is actually wrong.
Hmm.
And what's so tough now with this situation, all right, church is supposed to be a hospital. Church is
Hmm.
where I need to go get healed. Church, it could let me open this wound, express it to my mom early on. This is what's good. But here I'm going, and it's ratatatatata, ratatata.
Hey.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, you guys need to give 1,000 euros. We are going to have a new headquarters. Here it is, the time of healing that needed to take place.
Hmm.
Being very broken and damaged at such a young age.
Hmm.
That's why I tell y'all false. Y'all don't understand why I hate falsehood. I don't
Yeah.
hate people. I
Hmm.
don't hate people, but any false way, especially when it comes to false church, I'm telling y'all. Because you have some kids in there, you have no idea what it is they have gone through or what it is that they are going through.
Hmm.
But here, this is supposed to be a place of getting taught, of getting teaching, and all of what I'm supposed to be getting, but it's just foolery.
Exactly.
This is what. So here you're going through all this. The false church you're going to, sis, it's clearly some nonsense. This man
Hmm.
dashes your sister. She hurts her head. Now she's rolling over and all this stuff. What is like a next chapter in your life when that seemed to cease?
Hmm. I think I was turning 17. So, oh, 18, 19, my when my dad passed away at 2017.
Sorry to hear that. My condolences to you and your family.
I don't know how to say but yeah, but I was also the last person who talked with my dad, like on the phone before he passed away. It was, I think, 1 week before my birthday. He called me, and I was not really too close to my dad because he beat my mom when we was little all the time. Every day he was like an alcoholic, beating my mom, seeking for like stress with my mom just to beat her. And I can also remember, I think I was 8. Ah, I was 8, and we was like in our apartment, and my mom was, I think, 8 months pregnant, and she was just sitting there like at peace, and our door was broke. And I don't know who broke this door, but it was there was some damage on this door. And he came, and I don't know what's come over him. He just pointed to my mom. He said, why did you damage the door? And she said, with like her belly like this big, she said that I didn't do nothing. It just happened what it happened. We don't know how. And my brothers were there. Everyone was little. Like we was 10, 11, 12. And then my dad came to my mom and pushed her from the chair. Like she was falling in the back with her belly. I thank God that she didn't fall on her belly because 8 months, like the child can come, it can come now, but he pushed her and he started to beat her. And we said to my dad, please stop beating her. Stop. And he didn't stop. And then he stopped and he took the phone and called the police and said, please come take me. I beat my wife. And then he hung up. And then the police came and interviewed us, what happened. And then they took my dad with. And yes, me and my sister, we start to laugh because he just with handcuffs and turn away, so turn and say, always remember, I love you. I look at him like, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Since this day, I lost my respect for my dad. And I know I shouldn't lose my respect for him. I should honor him, but because of this, there was a big distance. Like I just reached to him for money, but there was not like a daughter, father, or brother. I said, "Mm-mm, I cannot." But today, I regret a little bit because he was influenced of his own dad, who had 8 wives, and he always beat his wives as well. So that's why he beats my mom, and he beats his former girlfriend as well. So he knew not better. So yes, he knew better, but he just listened what the other people are saying.
That is what. And when he was like, she was on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
8 months pregnant, and he's beating her while she's on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
like slapping her up, punching
Yeah.
her.
Mm-hmm.
Did he kick her as well?
No,
No, just slapping
because
and
he knew that there was a boy inside. Like
oh, it was
he
a
was.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
That
But
is
he was like pulling her hair. And even after her delivery of our brother, my mom, I thank God he kept my mom because she had a C-section, but she lost a lot of blood. And she passed away for 5 minutes. But I thank God that he brought my mom back because
wow.
I cannot imagine without my mom. And that's why I respect her so much. And even after that, my dad keep like beating her, like pulling her hair, beating her, like, and normally we have children, we're supposed to have like a good childhood, but my mom was the only person that went out with us, go like eat ice cream, or she bought us like bicycles and everything. And my dad was just there. He bought also some things, but for me, it's more negative things that you beat my mom up till like she was like crying, like it hurts my heart to see that. And I can remember it was, I think, the last day that he beat my mom. So my brother, my 3 brothers and me, my sister, we went up to my dad and said, when you touch my mom one time, we're gonna kill you. And then he backed up, he went out, and he came back. And then he wanted to touch my mom again, but my mom like defends herself. Then she started also to defend herself, and my dad saw, yes, okay, I cannot play with this woman because she is strong. So since then, my relationship with my dad, I said,
That is crazy.
mm-mm.
That is absolutely crazy.
Hmm.
Like that is traumatizing.
Yeah, yeah, yes. And I pray to the Lord, please don't give me a man who beats me because I cannot handle this. I'm a very sensitive person. I cannot get like the only one who beats me was my dad with the bell, but I cannot handle with my husband beats me.
This is
Hmm.
I mean I try this is crazy.
Hmm.
Like to not hear the sounds or the effects of having your own mother being beat, but to do this
Hmm.
right in front of the kids
Hmm.
that her life was literally at risk for
Hmm.
every pregnancy.
Hmm.
And then you wonder if, okay, we know God, cut him off, but you
Hmm.
wonder if, God did it more quicker because that could have created a killer out of one of you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Like, whoa, hold on a second. Yeah, I'm much younger now, but when I get older, when
Hmm.
I actually have strength, nah, I'm not letting this slide. Like that is just like this is probably so for one of the roughest childhoods I've ever heard somebody have. You're being sexually abused, and now it comes to make sense now. Okay, now I see why she didn't want to. Still, of course, but as a kid, you don't know, right? But now one can see, okay, now I see why she didn't want to tell her mom. The mom was getting beat up.
Hmm.
And now if I tell my mom this, she's going to have to confront my dad with this. What is he going to do to her now
Exactly.
with the confrontation?
Hmm.
This is
Yeah.
just wow.
Yes, and every time when we see my dad beats my mom, I think it's just instinct. We just put all the sharp instrument out of the way. Like we took the knives away from where we in the kitchen. We took the glass away that he just injured my mom. Like yes,
Wait, glass that he injured your mom with?
yes. See, we took every sharp instrument away from my dad. In the time when he beats my mom, we took the knife away. We took the glass away. We took everything away that can hurt my mom.
But he never used any of those items to hurt her before.
I think when it, I don't know, when it stayed there, I just like, we was just scared that he maybe could use one of these.
Oh, this is
Hmm.
wow. And then here it
Yes.
is. You see, this is why I keep telling y'all. Holiness. God's way is when Pastor said this thing is hard,
Hmm.
because here it is, sexually abused, rough childhood in falsehood. My dad beating up my mom, and to go so low, he does it while she's pregnant. And you know what God says? If you don't forgive, I'm not gonna forgive you. You know what God says? Honor. Jesus. Oh,
Hmm.
shit. Shit. I'm no, this is I just this is crazy.
Hmm.
My dad never in his life has laid a hand on my mom. But I truly believe they both knew that I was crazy enough. I would have figured out a way to kill him if I was younger. No,
Nah.
they would have known. They would have known. They know, okay, he's a good kid and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not saying he ever would have or anything like that, but I truly believe because I would have figured something out to like no, so, and then I had my brother that was older as well, 8 years up. So there was, but my dad, it was never a threat or anything like that. My mom never
Mm-hmm.
came, ooh, anything of such.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, Lord, I have to honor this. Lord, I can't forsake this. Like, okay,
Yeah.
Lord, look, there's beating my mom up with words, which is crazy enough.
Mm-hmm.
You're nothing, you're this and that and that and this. But Lord, this man beat her up when she was 8 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have to forgive that? I have
I'm
Lord.
honest. I just start to forgive him when I came to home, like when the Lord opened my understanding to forgive. Then I forgave him. But before, like I said, just uh-uh.
And
You
so
did too much damage.
how many years has that been going on for? Where your
Oh,
mom
I think 17 years.
purée de pommes de terre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Crazy. Like, uh, that's why I lose my respect totally for my dad. And especially because my brothers are there. They see how he beats my mom. One of them, he looked like he saw that my dad did it, so he did it also with his girlfriend.
Unbelievable.
So he broke her arm. And I said, it's all because of my dad, because he opened the door and my brother saw everything. But thank God my other brother never touched a woman, like beating her. He respect women, yes, but he never get on their face.
And you said you're the second oldest, which means your brothers were seeing this at a much younger age.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All like my sister, she is like, okay, now she's 30. I'm 29, and my other brother, he's 28. Like we was like
Mhm.
this, but we are five, but the fourth of us, he didn't realize it. So that's why I think he don't understand and realize what my dad did. But we three, we saw everything. And even with the sexual abuse to myself, I think about even when I was little, I said, I was always scared when my little brother went with my dad in the room to sleep. I was so afraid. I was so scared, like maybe my dad will touch him. Maybe something will happen to him. Like my heart was beating so fast, like I don't know why.
Like you really, I guess you really didn't, trust your dad, which I
Hmm.
get. That is crazy. And what
Yeah.
was what was the aftermath after beat session? Like, what would your mom do? Would you hear tears? Would you hear, like, what would she do after?
So I I think she was seeking counsel at church that she wants to separate from my dad. But I think the pastor said, no, think about it. For me, think about it to be beaten up from my husband, and I have to think about to stay with my husband and my children. My mom, of course, she's dead because she was listening to the pastor, and I was like, okay,
And so, okay, so let's say, like, what would she do? So after your dad would beat her up, in that moment in time, like, what would she do? Would she come and console y'all, tell y'all don't worry, like,
yes. She came upstairs and of course with red head and said, everything gonna be all right, and console us as well, praying In this moment, he came to our room and we started to pray with my mom. And what was also strange that I think my dad knew about like this sexual abuse also in his family because he always said yes, the girls have to sleep in their room and the boy in their room. But me, my sister, and my brothers, we always like have like a movie night. So we went, for example, to my brother's room and watch a movie and then we fall asleep. But my dad come in and say, Rachel, Rachel and Vida, you have to go to your room. Don't sleep here.
That is crazy.
hmm And especially, I remember one night, I was so excited to have my own room. So I fall asleep and I woke up, and at the wall above me was two red eyes. And I jumped up like it was really staring at me. And I was so afraid. And when I'm afraid, I don't talk. I just stand up quietly, leave the room, went to my sister, and then I was sleeping beside my sister. Somebody, and it wasn't me. Somebody pulled my sister's feet. Like it was not like a person, it was like a spirit. And she said, Rachel, why are you touching me? I said, it wasn't me. And she said, it was you. I said, no, it wasn't me. And then she was afraid, of course. And then it happens to me. I was fall asleep like in my room and I had a nightmare, but I couldn't really recall it, but somebody pulled on my feet. And I was alone in this room, so I know that nobody's there, only me and my bed. And the same thing happened to my brother, like my brother after me. And then me, my sister, and my brother, we came together and said, did you and experience in your life that somebody pull your feet? I said, yes, it happened to me. My sister said also to her as well. And my brother said also to him as well. And then we went to my mom and told my mom, and then she told us. I can remember she saw my mom that she woke up in the night and she hear my dad yell in the living room, please don't take my children. Don't touch my children. So he was speaking with evil spirits maybe or to a spirit. And he was yelling, don't touch my children, please leave them alone. Take me, don't touch them. And normally my mom started to pray directly and and this time I was so proud of my mom. She yelled at my dad when she said yes, when you did something like evil voodoo stuff to my children, the Lord is there. And he was afraid. He was so afraid of my mom, like because she was speaking with authority to him, and he was extremely afraid. And another day, my sister was so sick. I don't know how and I don't know why, and she passed out. And my mom's tried to open the water fountain, I think,
The
in the
sink, the water.
room.
Okay, from the sink.
Mm-hmm.
The sink. So she tried to open the water from the sink. Okay, yeah.
Exactly. And then she saw like blitz lights coming from the yeah, yeah.
What did she see?
Blitz lights. My sister and my mom, they saw like blitz lights come from the fountain. And then they called the plumber, and the plumber said, there's nothing. Yes.
This is.
Mm-hmm. Voodoo is real. It's real.
Well, I know, being Haitian, I know.
Yes, it's so real. I said, It's crazy.
And when
Like
I say being
Blitzlight.
Haitian, I know I never did voodoo, y'all. It's just because it's to the
Mm-hmm.
country. Don't go and say, oh, brother Sundin must have do voodoo.
Ah.
Brother
Mm-hmm.
Sundin, man, I know you in the witchcraft. Man, I know you
Mm-hmm.
upon obia.
Oh
No,
no, no,
I've
no,
never
no.
done it in my life. Jesus
Me
Christ
either.
is
Me
God.
either. Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ is God. Man, I play with black magic. Jesus Christ
Exactly,
is
exactly.
God. My
Mm-hmm.
God, this is wow.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And what's so
And
crazy,
mm-hmm.
because the way I am, I can't sleep there no more. The moment that feet pulling stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like for instance, if I'm sleeping beside my brother, because us when we were when I was much younger, we're in the room together. I would have my bed and he would have
Mm-hmm.
his.
Mm-hmm.
If my brother were to say, "Yo, stop pulling my feet," bro, I didn't touch. Yo, mommy, I'm nah, bro. I ain't going to bed here no more, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, me.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy.
Yes. It's
And you said
only happened to us three.
yeah, and you said you opened the sink, and what came
Mm-hmm.
out?
Blitz lights. Like really like like you see in the movies, in the horror movie. Like it's came like water, but like blitz lights and water.
This is crazy. And then you call. So here it is. Y'all clearly seen this with your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So you said it was you, your mom seen it too. You said
Yeah, my
yeah.
sister and my mom, and so I was downstairs, but my sister told me
Okay.
before she passed out.
So she said, "Hey, I'm seeing blitz lights
Mm-hmm. Coming from the front. And my
coming,"
mom saw it as well.
and then your sister, I guess she panics. She
She
like what?
died.
She
Mm-hmm.
passes out
Mm-hmm.
because your mom and y'all are not crazy enough to just say, you know what? Let's just call a plumber for nothing. The plumber comes,
Mm-hmm.
opens the water from the. He's like,
There's nothing. Just coming normal like
it's
it
just normal
is.
water here. What's going? Like this is crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and this apartment was like very like creepy.
Uh-huh.
Even when we move out of this apartment, we feel like when we pass like from the window, like it's like something watching you from this apartment. And we said, thank God we went out. But of course, the evil spirit like follow from this apartment to the other apartment. Yes, but we keep praying, of course, and we went back to church. And then my dad passed away 2017. I was calling him and he told me, Rachel, come. I have a gift for you for your birthday. And I think it was the will of the Lord that I don't see my dad pass
Pass
like
away.
I
Yeah.
was there and pass I see him passing because I missed all trains on this day. And it started raining and the Lord knows I hate rain. When I go out, I hated to go on rain outside, but I missed all the trains. And then I said, okay, I gotta catch this train, the last train. And I was at my cousin's home. Like I said, okay, I have to go now because my dad is calling me. So I went to my dad, and so my mom and my dad they separate at the end because my dad he slept my brother so that he saw lights like stars, and my youngest brother called the cops on him.
Mhm.
So the cops told him, yes, you have to leave this home forever and seek your own home. And then I went to my dad and I called him on the phone that I'm there. But the time I went and called him, he didn't pick up the phone anymore. And I called and I called and I called and I was angry, of course. I was angry. I said, why do you have a person in phone when you don't pick up the phone? So I went home and went to school the next day, and my principal called me out of the class. And I'm not a troublemaker at school, and I was scared. Why do you call me out of the class? So I went out And told me, yes, take all your stuff with you. I said, okay. And then I step out of my classroom and I saw my cousin in the corner of the secretary. And she started yelling, Rachel, your dad passed away. I said, what? No, I just talked with him yesterday. And she said, no, he died this night. And I think I passed out. I passed out at school and I yell and I cry and of course the family of my dad, they separate like in in our culture when somebody die, you come together till the funeral and you have to come to the place where he was. Like for example, in my mom's home, but he wasn't with my mom, so they were separate. And my dad's family said, yes, we don't want my mom there. And then they said it's because of the children. My dad passed away. It's all of these children, all because of his wife, all because of his children. When I said it's not our fault. But of course, because they said it, I have guilt in me because I was the last person who talked with my dad. And then one uncle told me, you are the last person who talked with your dad. I say, yes, now. And then I thank God for my little brother. He's like a rough one. You don't play with us. He started to yell at my uncle and he wants to beat my uncle, but my mom said, don't do nothing wrong because they have a reason to talk. Just keep calm, let them talk, and wait. So, and even my oldest, not my biological sister, but my other sister from my dad's side, daughter, she said she also talks. She said, yes, we don't want my mom with in the funeral. She have to stay at home. And we said, that is not fair. That's our dad, and we are supposed to be there. And like they treat my mom like trash. And it makes me angry. And but I'm a person when I'm angry, I just slow everything down. And yes, at the funeral, everything was like it was. I start to cry a lot because then I realized that my dad was influenced from his own family, from like father's side. And this time I start to hate everyone. Everyone, I don't want to play with everyone. I went back to church with my purple hair, purple nails, everything like mini skirt, and I did my stuff. And there was like one pastor from Italy. He's not a pastor, but I think the Lord talked through him. And he said, you have to stop the things you're doing. And it's like he spoke to me directly because I was standing in the back. I went to the bathroom so quick, like I don't go back inside. And since this day I said I don't go back to church. I went to the world, party, drinking, drinking, more drinking, and I don't even give space for grief. I just start to drink and more drink and more drink and have fornication, drink, 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 drink. And yes, my cousin said, Rachel, you have to chill. I said, no, I just keep drinking. I couldn't stop. Like, it was like, I have to do that. So I feel like numb. I don't feel nothing. I don't have to think about my dad, nothing. And then one day there was like a discussion at home. And my brother said something, I can't really remember, but I ran out of the room, like from the apartment, and went straight to the riverside. And I wanted to jump. I want really to jump in the river and just die. But something told me, don't do that. and then I step back and sit down on the like on how to say it.
Sofa?
Mm, exactly outside. And I just wait, I think 1, 2 hours, and then I went back home. But since then, the devil played with my mind. Just kill yourself. Nobody needs you. Everyone gonna be all right without you. Nobody loves you. And yes,
And how did your father end up passing away? Was it just a heart attack, or stress? Like, how did he die?
he died at home, in his home. But he was also an alcoholic, so he drank every day. And the day before he passed away, he called my mom to tell her, I'm so sorry for everything I did to you. I'm sorry for my behavior that I hurt you. I'm so sorry. And he also, every one of us talked with my dad on this day before he passed away. So my brother and my sister and me. And I think we met with my dad one time before he passed away. We thought we told to my dad, Dad, you have to move out of your apartment because it's too small and everything is messy. And he said, Don't worry, I will go far away. And then he passed away. This far away was gonna pass away. And thank God I didn't find my dad. It was my older brother who found my dad because he didn't came to work and he was a workaholic. Like you see him every day working. So he didn't went to work and everybody saw and my uncle told, yes, let's go to your dad's apartment, look if he's okay. He went there, he smashed up like he break into his home and he found my dad on the floor, like with bleeding nose. And they called the ambulance, everything, but it was too late. And I think he had a heart attack. Yes, and my older brother is not okay today. He's not okay because he found my dad. And he loves my dad so much. And he was the only one who was very close to my dad. Not even his sister or the two other brothers. Only him, my little brother, and my other brother. But yeah. And the time where I realized and thought about how he died, it really breaks my heart. I start to cry so much that okay, you was a bad dad, but dying like that, that's no, that's not all right.
Do you believe, or did it ever come to you that maybe, he took a pill or whatever and killed himself, and maybe he wanted you to
I
find the
think so.
body? You believe he wanted you to see that?
Mm-hmm. I'm honest. If it was me to find my dad, I will be in the clinic forever because I cannot handle the situation like that. And I cannot help you and I see you like you cannot breathe, I'm gone. Take me to the clinic, leave me there and
Yeah. So,
finish.
because with that phone call you were calling him, it could have been he was already gone. And
Mm-hmm.
because assuming so, okay, this is my kid. Maybe she's gonna come up, knock on the door, and see if you know. But
Mm-hmm.
I truly I don't think it was the Lord's will
No.
for you not to. He knew what he was doing,
Mm-hmm.
and for you to just not, because from like I look at it for different other people like myself. If it's a situation, if it's the kid, like if I wasn't in truth,
Mm-hmm.
I probably just wouldn't have anything to do. I wouldn't want nothing from you.
Mm-hmm.
I want no money. I don't want no time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to be I don't even want to say like this is my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely wouldn't have gotten I wouldn't want to have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But if I look at it on a sense where, okay, I'm going there, I would have been curious.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm calling the phone, or he knows I'm coming. So let me
Mm-hmm.
go just, let me knock, knock, knock. But it's just I truly believe because you wouldn't we all know what we can handle, but the
Mm-hmm.
Lord always knows best.
Mm-hmm.
And even the
Exactly.
way you took it and you didn't even see it,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't even witness it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, okay, after all these years of this and that, and the apology to your mom that I'm gonna go for, it's almost like, okay, did he knew something was coming?
Mm-hmm.
Did he do something to what? That is just that is, and now here it is. You go through, I mean, a very challenging moment. I wouldn't, maybe you could say grief, but drinking, drinking, and drinking, and
And
drinking,
party all the time.
partying all the time.
Every Saturday, I'm in the club, clubbing with my cousin, and then go back home. We don't have a ticket, we don't have a car, nothing. We just go, come back in the cold, spend our money. That's all.
And what was going through your mind when you were partying? Like were you just trying to get away from it, or was it always there? Like, what were you trying to do when you're doing all that partying?
I think I want to escape the reality of life, like everything. Like my mind was like everything is going up and down. Like the molestation, my dad beating my mom, every like trauma of life. I have to run away from this so far that I cannot remember. Of course, I can remember after I sleep off my alcohol, then the reality come back. Like this is life. Yes.
Like, how much were you drinking, would you say, per week? Because I know, well, here's another, history thing for those that are watching and listening. Europe is it's alcoholic country. I will say, like,
Mm-hmm.
drinking alcohol is it's like drinking water.
Exactly.
Especially in Germany, beer is a very
Yeah.
very very big thing over there. Like they take
Mm-hmm.
they take their beers and stuff very serious
Mm-hmm.
in Germany. And I recalled this because when I was in college in Cali, some of the teammates, they were from England, and they're like, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
what would you like to drink?" I said, "I don't drink," and they all like turned their heads, like, "What did you just say? Like, you don't drink at all?" So no, I never drink in my life. He said, "Yo, if
Mm-hmm.
you were in England, we would think something's actually wrong with you in your head for not drink." So it's a very. How often was Rachel then? How often were you drinking per week? Would you say? Because you said you was drinking a lot.
I was drinking every Saturday. Like, no, it will start on Friday because I went to school from Monday to Friday. And then on Friday, I start to drink with my cousin. So we plan everything step by step. And we saw it, no, we cannot go to club because we are broke. Like, okay, let us go to like to the park. Before we go to the park, let us go to the supermarket and buy us some alcohol like vodka and the small glasses and energy drink and wine and everything. Yes.
And so you
Every
would just
Friday,
do all of
Saturday.
that from
Mhm.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday as
Mhm.
well.
Yes, and I passed out in McDonald's at the toilet. And my cousin, she tried to wake me up, but I couldn't. I was too weak, like the alcohol was there, like too much on me. And then, thank God, I woke up, stand up, went back to my cousin, but they had my bank card, the card from my bank, and I had money on this my account. So I don't know why I was so like so stupid, like leaving my card with them because they order a lot of stuff with my card. And I can also remember that I gave my cousin my phone, but because I was drunk, I thought somebody stole my phone. And I looked at the guy beside me, and he didn't have nothing to do with us. I looked at him like, you stole my phone. You stole my phone. My cousin, she knew she had my phone. She said, he had nothing to do with this. I have your phone. I said, tell me that from the beginning. Just give my phone. Drunk. And then we went home. I didn't want to go home at my place because I know when my mom see me drunk in this stage, she will like beat me up. So I went to my cousin's place, and her mom didn't have a problem with this. Like us, now of course she have a little problem with this when we come drunk, but we wasn't like that loud. We was like very quiet, sneak into her room and went to sleep directly.
Wow. You were doing hard liquor as
Mm-hmm.
well. And then did you like start to wonder, am I becoming like my dad? Am I, did you start to see yourself, okay, he was an alcoholic, drinking a lot. Am I slowly turning into that? Did you ever ask yourself, that question?
Now I ask myself, now, but in the past, no,
No.
I didn't really realize. But when I realized now, I saw that I went to the same path that my dad went through with alcohol, but he just drank beer and wine, but I drink the harder one, like vodka, tequila, like the really hard ones.
Wow.
And but I thank God that I stopped drinking alcohol before Corona. Yes, so it was like so my ex-boyfriend, he picked me up from home with my cousin. We went to his place and his friend, he drove. So time when we came to his apartment, he said, I lost my keys from the car. I said, it's not real. What are you talking about? You just drove us to this place, so you have to find your keys now. He said, yes, I'm gonna, but he didn't seek. And I can remember that one of them had like, I think it was drugs. He pulled something and put it in the glass of me and my cousin. And I thought it was normal, like everything gonna be all right. But my cousin drank from it, and it was mixed up with alcohol. So we drink, and a few moments later, my cousin passed out, and I couldn't wake her up at all. And I was scared to call my mom to pick us up, and she had her driver license. I was so afraid to call my mom to tell us we are here and we need your help because I don't know why I'm so afraid of my mom. I don't know. And what time I start to like calling my cousin, wake up, we have to go now. And she didn't wake up. And then my ex-boyfriend called me to like he wants to beat me up. Like, you have to come with me now. I said, no, I don't leave my cousin alone here. And so he pulled me away from my cousin. And my cousin, she woke up 6 hours later. And I have 20 missed calls. 20 missed calls from my mom and from my sister. Like, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. And my thank God my cousin wakes up next morning at I think 6 a.m. in the morning. And she said, what time is it? I said, it's 6 a.m. in the morning. I tried to wake you up, but you was gone. And she said, we have to go now. I said, I know. So she stands up and she have to no, of course, she have to vomit everything out. She started to cry. And then we went home. So we went to my place this time because I was scared. I was so scared. So I just took her, like for me, she was my protecting shield. Like my mom will not yell at me when my cousin was with me. But she did. She said, Rachel, where was you with your cousin? I said, we was at church. So we went back on Sunday at home. We We was at a church at my cousin's father's church. He really have a church. We went there, we said. And he said, "Why did you pick up your phone?" I said, "Yes, my phone, my battery got off." And my mom saw that I'm lying. So she just leave me alone. And my cousin also like he didn't say a lot. But my cousin told me all the time, "Rachel, my tongue is burning and like her intimacy part is hurting her, like burning as well." And I think last year she confessed to me that she was raped from my ex-boyfriend's friend. And I knew when she told me in the past I would like seeking him and like do him harm completely. And I start to cry. Like I really start to cry. I say, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know." Yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of
But
stuff.
this is you never know what you're in for with these testimonies. You know,
Mm-mm.
I was ready for, I grew up in the church. Listening to my father, listening to my mother. I stay out of trouble. I was not expecting all of this.
Mm-mm.
Like, this is just, wow. So, you're going through all of this. Sis, how in the world did you come across the truth of, like, how? How did this
Yeah.
come? How did you come across this? How?
So after the stress of my ex-boyfriend, I posted on Snapchat, "All men are the same, trash." And then a brother from the church, he said not all men, like from First Church, he said not all men are the same. There are some good.
But you
I
weren't you
said,
weren't you were not in First Church at that time.
no, it
But
was
that brother
Corona
was.
time.
Okay, but the
Mm-hmm.
brother that messaged you that was in for, okay, okay. Or is
Mm-hmm.
still in First Church. Right?
Um,
Okay, okay, yes, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so he wrote me and said, "Not all men are the same." And then he asked me, "Are you a Christian?" I said, "Yes." "Don't you see my cross? Like my cross? Don't you see like?" He said, "No, you are not a Christian." And I had purple hair and I really was heavy with makeup and I have jewelry on, everything. And he said, "Are you for real?" I said, "Yes, I'm a Christian." "Why are you asking me? And why are you bothering me?" And then he said, then we start to chat. And then he asked me, "Do you know Pastor Gino Jennings?" I said, "No, who is this man?" And he said, "He's an apostle, a real apostle." I said, "Okay." And then he sent me a link. And I went to this link. I cannot remember the teaching, but I can remember the sound, how he talks. It was really like, whoa, like, hey. Yes. And for me in the beginning, he was too loud. Like, "Why are you yelling like that? Why? Can you not speak a little bit softer? Like, chill." And I couldn't really understand his language, like English at all. I said in my mind, "What he's speaking about? I don't understand nothing." And I couldn't even speak English like now. And but I keep listening. Like when it came to the part with pants and makeup and jewelry and all this stuff, I was like,
You understood that. You understood.
mm-hmm. And I keep listening, and then the head cover, and then no braids. I said, "But I'm grown in braids. Like my mom teach me to wear braids." And I said, "When you want to follow the Lord, you have just listen." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna listen." I took off my braids, but not for too long. I did it again. I went with my mom to the hairdresser and she did my hair. But I had my hair for about 3 days. It started to itch like it was so itchy. Like I said, Rachel, you just listen to the message. What are you doing? And I put it off. My mom come to me, Rachel, you just did your hair 2 days ago. And I paid like she paid for my braids.
And please, I don't know how much it is over there, but what is it? Because a lot of people don't know how much putting on
Mm.
these hair extensions. That's why I have to say thank you, Lord Jesus, for this way of holiness. Because
Exactly.
I don't have to pay for fake braids. I'm telling you,
Uh-huh.
God is good now. What was it? Because the cost, I don't know the cost over here. What's the cost of putting that stuff on your hair?
So I was also a hairdresser. Like I did also private braids on people, on women, and some of them want 100 euro. It depends how thick or how thin you want them or how long you want them. They charge you for 120 euro sometimes, especially for the white people. Like they see the white people give a lot of money. So they charge the white people more than the black people. Like 200 euro, 150 euro. I said, I was like it as well, like 120 euro or 200 euro.
And then on a conversion rate, I don't know how much it converts to. Here in Canada, I'll never forget it. It was, girl, a long time ago. She said, oh, yeah, her sister does hair and stuff like that. She puts the hair extension and so forth. I'm like, oh, how much does she charge? Well, between $400 to $600.
Ella! Mhm.
Congolese, eh? Congolese. Congolese. I say $400 and $600 for what? Yeah,
That's
they
way
put the
too much.
400. But this is CAD because
Mm-hmm.
CAD money compared to euro is very bad. So
Mm-hmm.
the convert, I'm like 400 to 600 euros. So well, yeah, but she's specialized. She's good. Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, I don't know how much of a blessing it is to be in this way of holiness.
And
So
yes.
now you because I can understand this is money that was paid. Like you just put this on and it
Mm-hmm.
started to itch your hair out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Ay, ça commence à gratter là.
Mm-hmm.
You take it off. Your mom's like, hey, what's going on? What happens from there?
I said, Mom, that's not my real hair. And she said, yes, but you have to look beautiful and all this stuff. I said, I can look also beautiful with my natural hair. So, like, it's all right.
Mm.
But then, not for too long, I take my wig and I put it on my head. And I was like, I went somewhere and then hey, I was in a train, right? I had my wig and my headscarf. And then it starts to itch so much that I put off my wig in the train
Hey,
and I put it in
whoa!
my bag.
Hey, whoa!
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Hey, whoa! Hey, hey,
Yes.
hey.
Yes, I put it in my bag like, enough is enough. I'm tired. It's too much.
What was the reactions around you?
Like there was nothing like,
Like,
what?
that is
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that is crazy. So you just said this is itching.
Mm-hmm.
You just take the wig off and put it in your bag. And
Yes.
that is wow. Well, that is hilarious.
Yes, and I
Wow.
put on my scarf and just bind it and went home.
Wow.
And I feel so relieved, like I can breathe. My head can breathe. And the itching stopped directly. And I keep listening to the word. And I was struggling with my jewelry because I love my jewelry so much. I was really bragging with my jewelry, like earrings like that, rings all on my finger. And then I keep listening, and then I pull off. I pulled everything off, and I put it in like in one bag and put it in the trash. But one thing that I forgot, I put one jewelry in my small pocket, and I found it last year.
Hmm.
And I'm not tempted to wear them, but my mom found it. I took it and I put it in the trash. My mom came to me, Rachel, where, Where is the jewelry in this small bag? I said, I put it in the trash. She had me like, are you for real? I can wear them. I said, no, it was mine, so I have to put it away. And then she said, but you are in cold. You are in cold. What kind of God are you serving? A God who don't allow you to wear like jewelry out everything, and you are dressed like a grandma. My sister told me you look with the headscarf, you look like someone have cancer. I said, and it was only my mom and my sister, but my brothers, since I'm in holiness, they start to respect me more
Mhm.
because I'm their older sister, but I was in the world and did my stuff, and they heard what I did, and there was no respect at all from them. So, but I thank God for holiness for real. Now they respect me totally. They came to me and asked me some question, all the stuff, and I really thank God for holiness. And yes, but the things I was overzealous. I was so overzealous at school. I want to convince my friend, yes, and I know that the Lord don't deal with her now because her ears are not open now for the truth. What did I do? I push her away from me. And I listened to the to Minister Tal. She always said that don't be overzealous. You can push away you like people away from you just like that. And I did it with my own family, with my sister, with my mother, with my friends. And I was ready. I said to my man, God, you can come now. I'm ready to go with you. You can come now. You open my understanding, I can come. Let's go. But not knowing that I need the Holy Ghost. So I said, okay, I have to wait. And I stopped also like being overwhelmed because Minister Tash also teach us to like take your time. And when I always listen, take your time, take your time, take your time by pastor, by all the ministers, take your time. It's a journey. And I said, okay, I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna like chill. Take your time, walk slowly but surely. And since then I said, I thank God for holiness. It's rough, it's hard, it's the hardest way. It's like sometimes I said, God, really? Really? And I was in the past, I love to go on Congolese weddings.
Whoa. Congolese weddings or Congolese concerts? Hey,
Concert and wedding, both of them.
hey.
Party all night, like the music. I love the music.
Mm,
I love to dance.
mm.
And the thing is, I didn't drink in the weddings. I
Okay.
just dance and listen to the music and enjoy my night.
Hmm.
But since holiness, I said, I cannot be nowhere. I have to stay at home.
And that music. See, some people they don't know about Congolese music. They come from Nepal, les Congolese music, the Congolese like they do. That's why, like it is just because the school I went to, French school I went to, it's sort of Congolese, Cameroonians, Cote d'Ivoire. Africa, all the shit. It was like it was dancing was the norm. It was like
Mm-hmm.
drinking water. Especially for
Exactly.
someone like myself. But some people did. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Congolese music, man. You're not supposed to move. And
Mm-mm.
for some reason, you put the fasola. You're moving the way you're not supposed to move. What the play? Aye.
Exactly.
So when was like that? Okay, this is it factor for you when the truth of God interrupted your life. You hear the man of God. First thing you see, okay, he's rough. He's rough. When was the moment like, wow, this is it? No, I gotta get right with the Lord, and I'm going all the way through.
It was when the pastor said that the life I live now, it's not right, you're going to hell. And then another message, it was like when your dad didn't told you you have to dress yourself up. Like, put off your makeup, stop sleeping around with people. You can catch like HIV, every type of sickness you can catch with and when you sleep around. And since I really start to cry, I knew that my dad never, he never talked about that. Like Pastor talked. Like when you don't, when your dad never tells you, I will tell you. And then this was the time everything breaks in me. Like I was like, I'm done. Like, okay, I surrender. I'm gonna walk with the Lord. I'm I have enough of my old lifestyle. Of course, I have like something that I'm fighting with, but most of the things that I did in the past with alcohol, I'm not really, it's not in me. I don't want to drink alcohol. When I smell alcohol, I want to vomit. Like it don't smell good to me. And I really love the truth. And I thank the Lord that I got also married in holiness because I really often listen, you cannot marry outside the church. So I just wait and wait. I didn't seek a husband. I was like just go to church, do like listen to the word and get the word in me. But then I met my husband, and thank God we got married in holiness. And in the past, I want to have like an extravagant, like a dress, like you can show your cleavage, everything, like do your hair, makeup, everything. But in holiness is much more beautiful. Like you have to dress up. You can dress up and looking nice, like stylish, everything. You don't need to expose your parts of your body.
Wow, that is here it is. So you go through all of what you're going through in your life. Had already bad experiences with church. Here, the truth of God interrupts your life. What made Rachel so sure that this is the way? This is it.
Like this is the way. Like for me, I don't even have words. Like I just know this is the way. Like when I cannot remember the things from my old church, and I can like remember now the things of holiness, like how you have to walk, how you have to behave yourself in public or at home, and it puts like structure in my life. Like also you have to talk because I have to learn to talk. And through holiness, I learn to talk step by step. And I just know that this is the way. I don't have another word, just this is the way. And I pray to Lord that He keeps me in His way, even when I'm struggling every day, but I pray that He keeps me here.
And so I say, moreover, coming in this way of holiness, it's you have people that have gone through some real life stuff. So they need a real God. They need a real gospel, a strong gospel. Not
Mm-hmm.
not only to keep them out of that life,
Mm-hmm.
but to be healed from it.
Mm-hmm.
And before we conclude, your marriage, how because I could see that could have been a very emotional time for you, especially with your experiences, especially like, okay, this brother wants me. Like, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
what's like how was that moment in time for yourself? Knowing what you've because stuff like that, situations like that,
Mm-hmm.
it makes a woman become lesbian.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
it it has.
Mm-hmm.
It makes or it just simply makes one truly resent men.
Mm-hmm.
Like really want to talk them down and you're nothing. All like it really it turns you into a certain way. How was that moment for yourself? And here's the thing about it. You don't get married, of course, before coming in because that could have been a
Yeah.
whole different story. You know,
Yeah.
oh, But here it
Mm-hmm.
is. You see, the truth that you're blessed with. You see how the Lord has blessed you coming into this way, hearing the word from the man of God, from the ministers. I was like, how was that moment for you in terms of marriage, knowing that I'm about to do this?
Mm-hmm.
How was that? How was this moment for yourself?
It was like, wow. I never lost like I always said in me, even when I went through all this trauma, I said, I'm gonna marry a better man than my dad. I know that. And I never I have hope that I'm gonna marry somebody who really loves me and who will not beat me. I know that. And I put it in God's hands. And I talked to God. I said, God, please bless me with a man who respects me, who loves me, and above them both, that he loves you first, that he know how to treat me. And of course, he's in the truth. And the Lord bless me with a man, how I prayed. And what I will also bring within my marriage, also Lord willing, when He gonna bless us with children, there's no such thing as sleepover.
Mm.
Sleepover is dangerous. Like
No,
it's extremely
no,
dangerous.
no. They could sleep over there on your bed.
Exactly. In their bed.
Sleep over
Mm-hmm.
there. You want to sleep?
Exactly.
I will change the bed to another part of the room, and
Mm-hmm.
you can sleep over there.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
wow.
And I said, even when at my brothers and sisters home, I don't want that. I don't want them to sleep over there because for me, like I have to protect our children and my husband as well. And I also talk with him what happens with me, and I don't want them to sleep nowhere, just at home. Be at home, go to school, you can have friends, but don't sleep nowhere. Because no, I don't want them to go through where I went through, and then they are scared to talk with me because I'm scared to talk with my mom. I don't want that. I don't want that. And it's very important before you get married in holiness, you have to get counsel. Don't skip the counsel. You need this counsel because it's important. It's very important. Me and my husband, we went directly like to Minister Tash and he counseled us from day one till the day we went married. So it's important to get counsel before you get married. And make sure you are ready. Yes. And I'm a person, I'm a humble person. And when I see something that's not right, I'm gonna talk. But sometimes I'm too shy to talk. And then I let my husband talk for me. But before we got married, there was a lot of stress with my mom, of course, with my uncle, with my sister. But the Lord made a way for us that of course, we went to get married. My mom wasn't at our marriage because she wants us to do the traditional wedding. And I said, no, I don't do that because my dad, he passed away and my uncle he wasn't there since my dad passed away. So why should I do the traditional wedding? Yes, it
Uh,
was a lot.
No, and to just educate y'all that's watching and listening. So for Congolese, I don't know if it's the same for yourself, but for them, they have a traditional wedding. Most times, it's in Congo, it's in the country where they
Mm-hmm.
call the actual wedding,
Mm-hmm.
because you have some teachings out there. I don't know if it
Mm-hmm.
was in the false church I went to, but there's some teachings out there that the person whom you have sex with, the first person whom you have sex with, that's your wife and that's your husband.
Uh-huh.
So with the wedding, after you get no papers are signed, no nothing. It's just, bro,
Nothing.
y'all. It's a tradition. This is the real wedding, and then the actual wedding, they call it the white wedding. This is not the real one. We already, but yet the white wedding,
Mm-hmm.
you signed your marriage certificate.
Mm-hmm.
It's legalized by the government and recognized, and you're
Mm-hmm.
officially married. I, I,
Yes.
I can go and say, look, sis, Nikisha, we're gonna go to Haiti, and
Mm-hmm.
we're just gonna have to look into the sky and say, woo, woo,
Exactly.
woo, and we're
Mm-hmm.
married now. We're not
No.
married. So a lot of, and because like I said, I know Congolese like that. It's such a, like, they really, especially the moms. The
Yeah.
moms really, like,
Ah.
the dads would want it, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, but the moms, it's like, whoa, nah.
You
How
have
dare
to
you do
do
such a
this.
thing? You have to do
Mm-hmm.
this.
And I said no. So I rebelled against it. And she was like, okay, not okay. It was not
Mm-hmm.
okay for her. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, for me, it's like she dishonored me.
Yeah.
And, like, I said, okay, you don't come? Fine, I'm go ahead. I'm gonna marry my husband. And in end of it, I'm gonna live with him, not you. And my husband, oh, before we got married, he always explained to my mom, this is not biblical. It's nothing to do with Bible.
It
Like,
never was. It's culture, it's tradition, and don't get me wrong, you have some cultures and traditions that isn't contrary to the word of God. You
hmm
have some that are, but
hmm
you have some we just don't have to do it.
exactly.
But it's just, I don't know. It's like, maybe it goes within history and so forth, but it's, I hope one day, Lord's will, you, and Brother Gasper, y'all could have, maybe like a 5 year, 10 year ceremony, and maybe she could come to that. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, yes, yes.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
no, that is just, that's wow. And another thing before we conclude, a few more questions, because of all, what has been, going on and stuff. I noticed you mentioned Evangelist Taj a lot, because I know Evangelist Taj, it's really Europe, when he goes to
Mm-hmm.
Ireland and different spots, it's really him, you guys, y'all tune into, or, he preaches to you. Because y'all doing Germany, y'all doing Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, seeing and experiencing what some have gone through and so forth. How grateful are you, to Evangelist Taj, and how important is it for that minister to stay on that same line of doctrine? Because y'all could have been getting something else.
Exactly.
Y'all could have been getting, look, what I'm saying? Hey, ain't nothing wrong with a little this and that. Ain't nothing
Mm-hmm.
wrong with a little that, but y'all stayed, thank God for Evangelist Taj, on, on, like, just like, stay on that straight path. How grateful are you for that?
I'm extremely grateful. Extremely, like, I know that Minister Tash learns from Pastor. And I thank Pastor Cope, like, I don't have words. Like, I don't have words how much I thank Pastor, but I thank God for Pastor. I thank him so much that I don't even words, because I remember one convention I went to him, to Pastor, and I asked him a question because it was at my mom's place. There was a fake prophet he came to our home, like, with the bus. He came, and like you mentioned, the first person when you sleep with them in African culture, they're your husband. And I know that I didn't sleep with somebody with nine.
Mhm.
So he came and he made false prophecy. And then he called me. I have to stand up, go to him, and he told my mom to take frozen fish, frozen, from the refrigerator. It was frozen, right? I think it was five frozen fishes in a bowl. He said, yes, take the fish, put it on the table, and we're gonna pray for Rachel. And the spirit, what is in Rachel gonna come out of Rachel and go to the fish?
I don't know why people think Africans. I can't, bro. Like, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is just too much.
Yes. And the highlight was he said, after this, you can keep eating the fish. I said, wait just a minute. You said my dispute what even what is in me, go to the frozen fish and you can eat the frozen fish again? I said,
What
that's
Where was he from? Where was this false prophet from?
Congo.
Hey, whoa.
Yes,
I
from
think
Congo.
you guys are in competition with Nigeria. Eh? Yeah, you're
Ah,
competing.
and the best, my mom gave an envelope with money
Eh,
and drove him home. Drove
eh,
him home. I said,
eh.
wait just a minute. Wait just a minute. He can take the bus. Oh, I don't know what is wrong with him.
I'm
Why do you
surprised.
have to drive him?
I'm surprised he said y'all can eat the fish. I'm shocked he didn't take the fish with him to go home and cook.
Of course, I didn't eat the fish because I
Yeah.
was so scared. Like, I don't eat that.
Oh, that is crazy.
Yes, and
Oh,
pastor said to me, don't listen to him.
yeah.
It was just, don't listen to him. And he asked me, do you believe him? Did you believe him? I said, no, I didn't. But because in my mind, this was like the where Jesus cast out the devil in these
And
wines. Like there was
mhm.
a life.
Yes,
So,
yes.
but the fish is dead. It's frozen.
Yeah.
It's not like for me, like I said, leave me alone. Never again. Don't come in this time with another prophet who is not a prophet and just leave me alone. I just gonna listen to pastor and that's for me it's enough. And that's good enough for me to listen to pastor and to the ministers who labor along. Now I'm so grateful. Like I don't even have I'm so
Mhm.
grateful.
Oh. And all that you've been through, all that you went through, here it is. God gave you an opportunity,
Hmm.
to get right with Him,
Hmm.
straighten out your life, seek Him daily.
Hmm.
It's like the Rachel that we see now. Some people may not even believe who you were speaking about them then is even real. And it's so important, brothers and sisters, to have a strong gospel. This is why I say, moreover, holiness. When you see people go through stuff like this, you know how many people have been destroyed,
Hmm.
finished, killed themselves. Just some are till this day in complete ruins,
Hmm.
to the point where you say, "Listen, I come to this church. Well, no, not dealing with no church stuff. Get that. Get when people even hear the word church,
Hmm.
it's like a disgust."
Yeah, it was for me as well. I said I will not go to church. I'm done. But the Lord knows the best. He hooked me.
And here's what He did for you as well.
Hmm.
All right, you didn't even understand much within the English, okay? But here it is. As soon as you heard that wigs and the jewelry, oh, whoa, whoa, wait, wait, wait. What did he say? You know what? All right, let me take it off. Let me put it back on.
Hmm.
All of a sudden, why is this thing so itchy for?
Hmm.
Why am I itching all of a sudden? Nah, I gotta take this off.
Hmm.
All right, but you know what? Let me get my wig. Let me get my wig on.
Yeah.
It was, and you know how bad it has to itch for you to
Hmm.
do that on a public transit in Germany. Like if you told me you was in the New York, because New York, the subway, the trains in New York, that's a whole different story. The stuff on,
Hmm.
but it's like, man, this is too much. Boom. Let me cover my head.
Hmm.
Cause you admitted it. Like, shoot,
Hmm.
I could finally breathe. Like this
Yes.
feels good.
Hmm.
Wow, sis, this is why I say, brothers and sisters, this way of holiness, this is real.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are gonna come and talk left and talk right. They're gonna say all of that
Hmm.
because they know, even the haters, what are those that left or whatever, even them, they know the impact that this has on people's lives.
Hmm.
Because
Extremely.
the devil knows it. If he
Hmm.
did it, he would have been trying to attack this thing so bad.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
That's true.
the devil's so upset, man.
Hmm.
They gotta continue to attack this. But notice, even with the attacks, the truth of God, doop, 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 doop,
Exactly.
doop.
It's
Some
dead.
some of these ones have been arguing and this and that on the truth of God for years. They're in the
Mm-hmm.
same place.
Nah.
Gone nowhere. Truth of God? Bloop, bloop, bloop,
Mm-hmm.
bloop, bloop, bloop. You know why? Because God is truly with us.
Amen.
I'm convinced this thing cannot grow with. If God doesn't want this to grow, it will
Mm-hmm.
not grow.
Exactly. It's
But there's
true.
nothing. There's nothing you can. Why do you think some people, humble people, randomly blessed in certain ways, whether it be financially, whether it be with
Mm-hmm.
different things, but it's not really nothing to them.
Mm-hmm.
It just there's nothing they can do about it. They're just like, man,
Exactly.
I keep getting blessed.
Mm-hmm.
Look at us in truth. We just keep getting blessed. What can we do about it? Listen, we have a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
I can get the word of God to bring me right up.
Yeah.
I'm going through some hard times. If I know God is with me and I'm with Him,
Mm-hmm.
I can go into prayer and to fasting.
Mm-hmm.
Things is I'm on edge right now. I'm holding on. God says I can keep you.
Mm-hmm.
You know how blessed that you have some people literally. You're just stressing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And as soon as they're done the cigarette, as soon as they're done the weed, 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, they're just thinking about how bad they need a cigarette.
Exactly.
They need to think how bad they need to drink.
Ah, exactly. Like it's like just escaping the reality of life. You cannot run from this life. You have to face just the reality. And this was hard for me, like to face the reality of this life. Especially when I come to holiness, it was hard for me. Like I review my life from the beginning, like till now. It I said, wow. It just God knows, like God knows. I couldn't have been dead. Like, for example, my ex-boyfriend could take me to Nigeria or somewhere, like kidnapping me or kill me just in like now. But I'm still here because of God. And I couldn't be dead every time. And I was in the hospital as well, but the Lord kept me. And the doctor said, yes, it's a miracle that you stay alive. Because I said, I was not in holiness, but now I can say the Lord knows. Because all because of the Lord. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And I don't take that for granted at all. That I'm in holiness. He couldn't also choose my sister or my brother, but me? Nah. Mm-mm.
And to conclude, sis, you didn't forgive your dad, as you said, until you came to holiness. And what was it like now to discover that, okay, should if I want to make it back with my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? Because you didn't know until when you weren't forgiving him and you were done with him. And so, but now you came and you get this knowledge. You have to forgive him.
Mm-hmm.
How has that been like for you to know
Hard.
I have to forgive my dad and really mean it? Really, really, I truly do. How was that like for you?
It was hard. It was really hard. But then I thought about that he was influenced from his own brothers. And I know he couldn't do better. And that's why I said, okay, I have to forgive you because you're my dad. And I was like struggling, like, how can I forgive a person who is dead? But then I listened to the teaching and then Pastor speaks about it. I said, okay, I really start to cry. I start to cry because normally I wanted a dad who is really a dad for us. who protect his own children, but he didn't. But I forgive him, and I have also to forgive myself for neglecting myself like that. And it's so hard, but I thank God that I forgive my dad, but I have also to forgive myself for everything I done to myself, like the wrong that I did also to myself. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Brothers and sisters, as I say, moreover, real testimonies, real truth.
Hmm.
This is wow, sis. Thank you very much for coming on and sharing your testimony. Um, I know this is gonna be, of course, encouraging and educating to many others. It already has been encouraging to myself. It's just what I've just really been encouraged with is that, man, when God is really for you, doesn't matter what position you could be in, what you could witness, man, he really knows them that are his. To go through such trauma from such a young age and go through a lifespan like that. And then here, God just comes and says, "No, we're cutting this off." That is just, and thank you very much, sis, for coming on, for sharing your testimony. I believe you already said how grateful you are to God for Apostle Gino Jennings already. So I don't have to ask. I'm just saying that because somebody gonna say, "Well, he didn't ask that. Why didn't he ask this?" She expressed it if you paid attention and so forth. But thank God, honestly, for the man of God, and the work that he continues to do. Thank him for his family as well, because
Hmm.
they gotta go through they gotta go through things too. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
nah.
saying? They gotta go through things too. Thank God for the faithful ministering brethren and their
Yeah.
families as well. It just keep the man of God and his family in prayer, brothers and sisters, as well as the faithful ministering brethren and their families. Let's continue to keep one another in prayer. This was a wonderful testimony. Thank you so much for coming on, sis. It was your brother Sundin Esperance. You can follow us on I Thrive Podcast on Instagram, and you can subscribe to us here on YouTube. This is with Sister Rachel Gasper from Germany. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless and peace be unto you.